something. When Jesus Christ comes the second time, he's coming back as King of Kings and as Lord of Lords. In Philippians chapter 2, verses 9 and 10, this is what the Bible has to say about Jesus Christ. The Bible says that God has appointed a day or ordained a day in which he will judge the earth.
It's a record shop, so we sell records, CDs, vinyls, 8-inch, 7-inch, 12 inches, albums, and that's it, so we'll do everything we can, to present the records, to order records, to catalogue them and promote them, and sell as much as we can to keep the shop going. Yeah, so I do all kinds of things. I do databases, I do a website, I do clean the shop, and just maintain the shop, try and do what we can. Yeah.
Gentrification is this concept that typically poor areas poor communities get shifted out of an area by wealthier people moving in. We have a situation where black communities moved into an area that was a slum essentially at the time and turned that area into a vibrant place.
I think I was 19, between 19 and 21 when I first came in. I was going to all the record shops in London, Afro-Caribbean record shops, and I just happened to come in here with my demo. It was, I remember it was a reggae version of a Shalimar song. There it is, what took us so long? And it was a reggae version, and I brought it in. I went to a lot of places and nobody gave me any attention whatsoever. And I came here and Daddy Vigo said, yeah, let me hear it. So he put it on and he says, yeah, bring it when it's ready, because it was just a demo, and I was really happy, with the response, and just felt welcome, out of all the other places I'd been in, I just felt hostility, but it was completely different. So yeah, I just took a note, and from that moment, I just started coming and visiting, and he started asking me to help him with this and that and this and that. And yeah, I wasn't planning to work here, so I just ended up here, because the person that was here before left. And they just said, I'm the closest to Daddy Vigo, and can I come and squat for a while? I said, yeah. It's just me, Ricky, and Troy. Yeah, we get on, as best as we can.
As part of the Windrush generation, but in the sort of later 80s, Daddy Vigo came over and he opened up a record shop right in Ladbroke Grove. Again, sort of establishing and recognizing the community that was there, and it became a really, really important place for people to be able to connect and go to.
Daddy Vigo brought me into the family, he thought I was useful or whatever. I don't know what he saw in me, but he says, Carl, I'm bringing you into the family. He introduced me. I know all the family, I know the daughters, I know the sons, I know everything. So yeah. Yeah, he's just one of those guys, one in a million, and everybody misses him, we miss him. but we know he's in a better place, you know, because he left a legacy. You know, he's got his sons and his grandchildren, and yeah, he was a funny guy too, you know, but he was very humble, you know, but he always asked, you know, questions, you know, he always asked, you know, and picked people's brains, you know, and here was like a hub of activity. When he was here, he would just sit there in the corner, you know, with his big head, you know, big hat, you know, and he would be surrounded by dreads, you know, and people, you know, and people would be reasoning. It would just always be in a place where people come and reason, you know, and just reason things out. And if you were out of order, you get corrected quick, you know. Yeah, but yeah, it was many, many memories, you know. Part of the pecs of working in the shop is the music. You know, if you love music, you know, then it's the right place.
Particularly upsetting example of how gentrification can sometimes work is the Grenfell tragedy, which happened in 2017. Grenfell Tower caught fire, and you know, the whole building went up in flames. I think, according to official records, 72 people died. According to locals, it was more. That aesthetic, the cladding, was the thing that contributed to the fire, right? It wasn't safety checked, it caught fire and it went straight up to the building. And because of the neglect from the local council, and probably some desire to actually push those people out of the community anyway, we ended up with this horrific tragedy. But it is a cycle we see everywhere, where areas are neglected deliberately so that they become cheaper and cheaper. And then we have this process where, you know, wealthier people move into the area and the council then sort of sees that it can make money from situations, and then, you know.
In the 80s, is all that things that have been handed out through the old tradition, like people have said, you know, what it's like. And then I'm reading this book you gave me the other day, called The Front Line. You know, you should read it. Who's it by again?
Put together by Ishmael.
Ishmael, yeah. It's a really good book. It tells you all the history of All Saints Road and all the riots and how they started. But it used to be run, you know, black people being run down by the police and constantly getting arrested and beaten up. You know, and
not just by the police.
Not just by the police, and also.
They had to walk in threes or fours.
Yeah, it's the only Afro-Caribbean shop left. You know, if you know the history of this place, All Saints Road, it used to be the front line. You know, Afro-Caribbean front line. All the black people would congregate here. You know, and you know, it was. But you know, if you know the history, it's kind of like not what it used to be. This is the only shop left, you know. Like all the other record shops, like Virgin and all the shops that were open at the same time as this one, are all gone. So we're just lucky that it's still here, and we're doing everything we can to make sure it stays, you know, in the family, in the community, you know, and that Daddy Vigo's memories not forgotten, you know, because he was such a special guy. The business rates are getting higher and higher, you know, so I don't know how we're going to survive, you know, in the coming years, you know, but it's getting more and more difficult, you know, to sustain. And not a lot of black, you know, people buy records, you know, it's just people that are collectors come in here to buy records, people that come from abroad, people that have heard of this shop. And then we have a few customers, you know, the regulars. The area itself, you know, it's gentrified now, you know. Unless we get more money and we start buying up the things back up again, you know, I don't see any way, you know, it's going to get back to what it used to be.
I think there's always ways to fight these systems and processes. I think collective action is like obviously the first sort of point where you try and bring a community together so that they're talking to each other and everybody knows what's happening so that they can push back on these policies. It's going to rely on the for a long time, I think, for the black community in that area, right? Like, it's still a hub, it's still a place where people can go and feel connected and see their sort of culture represented through the music and the people in the shop.
But there's still a strong, you know, like if I shouted, you know, if I was being killed and I shouted for help, you know, people would come from nowhere, you know. So there's still a really strong Afro-Caribbean presence in the area, you know? And there's that unity, you know. We just go by day, you know, day to day, you know. It's just like, can't really plan the future, you know, because we don't know. Yeah, so we just take one day at a time, you know, and we've got plans, you know, but we can't really plan, you know, that far ahead, you know. And we're just hoping for the best and hoping that we can keep doing what we're doing and representing, you know.